This is the 2018 SEMA show in Las Vegas, and right here, well, this is called SEMA Central. I'm Kevin Ostie, and this is a place where we get a chance to chat with people that are involved with either different companies or SEMA itself, or in some cases, both, like our friend Jason Bruce.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, Jason?
Good, doing great.
So you've been involved in the auto industry for a long, long time.
Yeah.
How did you get started doing all this stuff?
Well, I got started out of high school working at Pep Boys as a bike builder and a stock and oil shelves, whatnot. And then worked myself up to an assistant manager, and then went to school. I went to graphic art school. After that, I got to work. Started working at Hooker Headers in 1996. It was my start in the industry, doing press releases and marketing stuff, and actually had to set up and coordinate the SEMA show for my first year at work. So it was started from there.
Well, I'm going to pause you right there because there are so many people who want to have a career in the automobile industry and an aftermarket industry at a performance company.
Yep.
And you told me the chronology. You know, first I went here, then I went here. But how did it happen that you got that job at Hooker? What did you do?
Well, you know, I graduated art school and was looking to get some work. The school I went to actually sent me as a temp to NHRA to work for National Dragster for a couple weeks, pasting pictures to paper sheets, which is a little old school, but
yeah.
You know where I'm going with that. And so I worked there for a couple weeks and just answered an ad at Hooker. I was a longtime automotive enthusiast. And at the time in the late 80s, it was the Cal Bug thing, so we had VW Bugs and things
Sure.
of that nature. And so I was a performance enthusiast, you know, in my normal life, and just wanted to get a job in the industry. And the Hooker Headers had an ad in the local newspaper for what they called a communication specialist.
Okay.
I applied and interviewed, and I had my art deck and the whole thing, and they never even looked at the deck. They just liked the fact I knew how to turn a Mac on, and I actually was a car guy, so.
Yes, nice. Well, so it's interesting because nothing happens unless you take the initiative, you know, which you did. And being a car guy with the skills, the computer design skills and everything at the time was in demand. And I talk to people, and I'm sure you do all the time, that say, man, how did you get in this? And in my case, it was unusual to have automotive knowledge and video production skills, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool that if you want to be in this industry, nobody comes to the automotive aftermarket not as an enthusiast, you know.
Right.
It's very rare that somebody says, well, really, I want to be an accountant for a chicken farm, but instead I design headers for a living. You know, that doesn't
Right.
happen.
No, absolutely.
So I think it's a good message that if you have your skills, those are an important marriage to have a business type skill and an automotive skill, put them together.
Sure.
And then you went straight up from there.
Yeah, you just, like anything, the deal is take initiative in your own career. You want what you want, and that can change year to year, decade to decade. I didn't end up where I am by thinking I was going to be where I am now 20 years ago. You just take opportunities as they come and be open to doing new things. If you can embrace being uncomfortable, you'll succeed, period.
Yeah.
And you put the work in. You've got to go, and you've got to do things. And if you do things, bosses, supervisors, leaders, SEMA people, they see that, and that turns into a successful career.
Okay. And more opportunities.
Absolutely.
So how has SEMA gone along for the ride in your career?
I was real fortunate to have a mentor and a gentleman named Jim Hairston, who runs Pertronics now. He was the director of sales and marketing at Hooker at the time. He highly recommended me to join YIN, the Young Executive Network, back in the mid-90s, just to be involved, donate your time. So there was a little bit of mentorship telling me it's good to give back. So I got pretty heavily involved in the YIN thing, and then progressively was asked to join MPMC, which is the Motorsports Parts Manufacturing Council, which I'm now the chair of. And I'm really honored to be part of that. We have some great people that work in that group trying to help manufacturers in the performance racing industry. And just, you start into it, you get into it, you meet people, you have fun doing it, you make a difference a little bit, or do at least your small part to make the campground a little nicer than when you found it.
Yeah, nice. How do you feel about what many people say, the more you give into it, the more you get back? Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to take ownership of what you want to do and what you want to be. But if you leave a trail dead bodies behind you because you were just being crazy, that doesn't lead to a good, successful life or a successful career. The more you give and the more you mentor and the more you lead from the front, don't boss from the back. Get in there, make a hole, work your spot, be helpful to your workers, your family, that type of thing. It'll all work itself out.
And today, your title is?
I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Holley Performance.
Yeah, how about that? Well,
Yeah.
this is very cool. Jason, I appreciate the time here today.
Thank
This
you,
is a
sir.
great example of an organic success story. And the theme for the show this year is Success Starts Here. Sounds like SEMA had a little bit of help for you along the way, and it can be you too. I'm Kevin Ostie for SEMA 2018 in Las Vegas.